I was in the Jack and Jill Ball in 1982, which was my senior year in high school. I graduated from Ellis. At that time, African Americans were not allowed to participate in the Cinderella Ball, and I was really disappointed because I really wanted to be a debutante like my friends. So my mom saw my disappointment and she said, I'm going to organize something special for you, and I'm going to call it the Jack and Jill Presentation Ball. She was just trying to figure out a way to make me feel just as important as my friends in high school, and that really meant the world to me.
So we got a committee together and we worked on it, and we decided that we would have what would be called a presentation ball. We would present our young ladies and our young men to society, and we would make a big to-do of it.
My mother used to chair the AKA cotillion back in the 60s. So there were young girls like myself. I want to say I was 4 or 5, but they had like junior attendance. So I grew up in that atmosphere of a presentation ball, a cotillion, and then the AKA stopped having it. So my whole life, I never got to be in a ball. So then when I had a daughter, I wanted that for her. That was important to me. It was just like deeply embedded in me. The fact that my son got to be in it, that was just kind of like an added bonus. But I wanted that for my daughter.
I think you also have to remember the context of the times, right? So you're talking early 80s. Country was different. Pittsburgh was different. I had heard of balls before. All 3 of us went to private schools, and so mainly white private school kids that we knew about who were in balls, and none of us were in them. So I think it was very important for our parents and for the African American community in Pittsburgh to really demonstrate leadership around showing, listen, our kids are great. They're ready for the world. They're, for lack of a better description, just as great as these other kids.
There was that gap in Black Pittsburgh where there was a period of time where there was not that opportunity.
There was nothing.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's a whole generation of us that didn't get that experience because it didn't exist. So when Jack and Jill started the ball, it was huge because there was a big gap in this city.
We got a lot of press from the white papers who said Jack and Jill breaks with tradition. And they went on, I think they loved it, and they gave us great press for what we were doing. If I could just read Hazel Garland's first paragraph from her column, I think it sums it up. It says, Pittsburgh's social scene never sparkled more brilliantly than it did during the recent Yule season. One of the highlights of what was an unusual gala, in spite of the economy, was an elegant presentation ball sponsored by the Pittsburgh Chapter of Jack and Jill of America, Incorporated. Approximately 250 formerly attired guests attended the Plush University Club and witnessed the introduction of 10 young men and women presented at a black tie affair.
Post-Gazette, I was in the newspaper in, I don't know, the society section or whatever it was, something like that. There was a picture of me trying on a tuxedo. I had a lot of people, friends calling me, hey, man, was that you in the news? Yeah, you know how I roll, talking trash.
There are so many good things about the ball. Number one, the money that is raised for the charities, the local charities, has a significant impact on their ability to do what they do.
The charity was chosen because that's what Jack and Jill did in those days. Not just Pittsburgh chapter, but all across the United States. But what more importance to young people than to give to an educational genre, which was need, because need was about the promoting of young children.
The other thing that I'm so proud about the ball is that we have a chance to showcase these incredible young people who have managed to defy all the limitations that maybe society puts in their pathway. And these young people are succeeding in high school at a level that surpasses all of society's stereotypical limitations.
But that first ball was just beautiful. It hit Pittsburgh with a storm. It was elegant. I remember I had a cousin who attended with his wife, and afterwards he says, I have never seen anything more beautiful than what happened tonight.
So I was in the 1984 ball, and I was fortunate enough to have 2 boys in the 2017 2019 ball. Although things were very different between my ball and the ball of my boys, we didn't have a cell phone where you could just tell people, oh, the rehearsal date has changed. We had to call every single house to, let people know that rehearsal has changed. Our photographs were on film. They weren't digital. I mean, so many different things between then and now, but there were some commonality, and that is the feeling of love and community in the room when you are presented and when you're a mother of a presentee. And at the time when I was in the ball, I didn't realize why it was important to my mother and my parents. I just thought, oh, it's a big party, we'll have a lot of fun. And as a mother, I realized how important and how emotional it is, because your children are getting ready to leave and launch, and you want them to know that there's this community who values them, who loves them, that they are from a place of people who are doing their best in the world. So that's really something I didn't realize, honestly, until much later.
I'm a big believer that our kids need to be celebrated. Events like this inspire confidence. And I do personally believe there's a crisis of confidence in the Black community. I've always felt that. And I just interviewed Maxine Waters about something, and she kept saying, we are worthy, we are deserving. People don't say those kinds of things to African-American kids. And what an event like this does is, without saying it directly, it's very clear. We are worthy, that we deserve the best, that our kids deserve to go to the best schools. That's not a message that our kids hear in society. They hear the opposite. And so that, to me, is really the biggest takeaway of the ball, and all of the traditions that go with it, is that it just gives you that level of, you deserve to be here. You can compete with the best. You are the best. And I think every African-American kid needs to hear that day in and day out.